we got a good week to talk about. It actually, we went 100% this week, 6 for 6 out of trades. Sometimes it is good to go over. I mean, every time it's better actually to probably go through your losses, just because when the good's going, the good's going. And when the losses come, that's when you hit those pain points where you got to figure out where can you fix it. Everyone else thought, when there'd be a down market, there's going to be no opportunity. It's actually brought more opportunity to this penny stock market, which is awesome, and we all should be even more excited.
Great week. Geez, the market's just whirlwind, but if you stay calm, you can really get a good reward out of it. And there's a lot of opportunities in a really volatile market. And if you're a day trader, that's what you're looking for big moves, big movements, up or down, and we're just capitalizing on it when it's really predictable. It doesn't happen that often, but it's great when it does, and it's great to be on the right track.
If you're brand new, welcome and thanks for joining. What we do is every Wednesday we get together and we talk about the trades that we did on our sniper account, the mutual account, and then at the end, if you have any questions, any tickers that you want to talk about, we'll get to those at the end. We make sure we always have time.
Stay humble for that next trade. So it's just one at a time. It's not like we knew we were going to go 6-0. We just took one at a time, and each opportunity we took what we can and moved on.
The biggest thing with that is just understanding, because we're not doing anything at random. You have to understand everything that you're doing, and it's going to take a little bit at first, but these stocks all act very similar, and the setups play pretty similar. So it's just understanding where what's going on. That's the biggest thing. If you do have the 6 wins, understand how it happened.
The Dow Jones is just completely dumping. We had a feeling OTC was probably going to heat up again, and it's heating up. So our last 6 stocks were all OTC.
Me, Mike, and Al, our specialty, no matter what, it's always been, because we never had a lot. So it's always been trying to make, with what we got. And, whether it was back in the day in high school selling candy or selling shirts just because we had $5-10, because we didn't have a lot of money, like the private kids schools that were maybe selling their cars and stuff like that. We've always dealt with what we had. And so finding this market has been such a blessing. And if you are new, the OTC market has been one of our biggest blessings, because it's like a market full of a lot of newbies. There's experienced traders for sure, but a lot of the big traders that trade blue chip, they may look into penny stocks, but they rarely look into OTC. We like to call it, this wild Amazon of the market. What's awesome about it is you got this niche group like us that are in it, and we're taking advantage of moves that we see happen over and over and over again in this market. And this will be a good webinar for that, because look at all these OTC plays we got. All right, IPIX, this is our first one. IPIX, it was a 300+ win. It was an OTC first green day. So the OTC first green days have been our specialties from the very beginning. I'm going to give the full checklist from start to finish on our thought process as we are looking at this one. What's going on with the market? That's the first thing you got to understand. We always like to look at it from the macro perspective. So on the technical, which would be the chart, we always like to look at the 1 year first, just to see where it is at the 1 year, right? Currently, where is it standing compared to its history throughout the year? And we saw IPIX was getting this first big green day, this perk day. This is the day that we traded it right here, right? And you see that for that nice volume candle too, right? So that's the first thing that caught our attention was, hey, IPIX is getting a nice start. It was holding a big gain. And so we decided let's dive into this a little bit more. Okay, so the very first thing, let's start from the very beginning that we saw was the biggest gainer. It was one of the bigger gainers on the list on this day. 20% on the day is usually on the top of our gainers list. So we usually look into each one of those, and IPIX was one we looked into. A couple of people have reached out about some stocks that are just at their all-time low. It's very tough to catch the low and be able to predict that first green day. So what we do is we wait for the first green day to prove itself. And if it does prove itself correctly, we'll strike at the end, towards the end of the day. And that's what happened on this day here, IPIX. We waited patiently throughout this day, and we let this candle form. So now let me dive into the 1 day, 1 minute of this candle here. And, you see this extreme volume. So let's dive in and see the day and what it looked like and where we bought it and sold it. We were able to grab this one and hold it over the weekend with news. So something that we like about Friday is a lot of people call it short squeeze Friday, because a lot of the shorts don't want to stay in over the weekend just in case a company comes out with some significant news that, and if they do, this company could be gapping up and you're just screwed as a short. So a lot of people cover up their shorts early or later on Friday, just so they don't have to hold over the weekend. What's going to make someone want to cover their shares even more is one, the setup, it's holding all day, but two, the biggest thing is the news, the catalyst that's going on. IPIX had a fresh news article, and the news article was actually based around COVID-19, the coronavirus. OTC penny stock, we were kind of waiting for just one to mention the coronavirus, because we knew, with the hype going around, that sooner or later an OTC stock was going to have to talk about it. And IPIX so happened to be one of those stocks. It was really nice to see that news come in, that they're actually talking about the coronavirus, just like all the other healthcare stocks that made it run. And this is the news, it's 3.9, and they said U.S. Regional Biocontainment Laboratory testing against coronavirus. So good stuff, IPIX, you got that news article. Now let's dive into the day. Right when we saw the news article, we said, finally, we found one that has that. And then it's just monitoring it throughout the day. And you see a pop up here to 15.4, and that was basically that high at the beginning of the day. And after it topped out there, it dipped, but it created this little trading range, right? And it's actually awesome when it makes that high and it tops out in the morning, because then that could be a clean point, a clear resistance for later on, especially on a first green day. It hasn't had a green hold in a while, and this one got the pop, so it finally got a green morning, and then it's holding green throughout the day. What's nice, it's also trading right around VWAP, and as you could see, as we approach 230, it's still holding VWAP, and you get that volume perk, and the volume perk goes right over 15.4. It actually, luckily this came in, because then this gave us, it made us really interested. Ideally, this would have happened a little bit later and we would have grabbed it at even a better position. But, since it was still 2, we didn't chase it or anything. We kind of let the stock play out. So the stock makes another high here at 16.2. So that's the new high, and we're still patient, because remember, this spike happened early. We usually like getting in within the last hour. At 2:30, it's getting there. So we're really interested now. We're getting close to that last hour of trading. And after it topped out at 16.2, we said, all right, we're gonna go ahead and try to get in, if this comes back up and threatens it. And our first buy was right here. It came up and tested it, we bought it, but unfortunately, right at power hour, it actually couldn't break through it. So we kind of just were like, all right, let's play this out a little bit. So we saw it top out 230, 245, and then again here. So we figured if it comes up again, or in power hour, this last hour of trading, we'll go ahead and risk it, thinking that this could have more upside at the end of the day, and also going into the next day, it's going to have a gap up. So let's check this out. Let's break it down. We end up getting in here because breaking down the checklist and breaking down our mindset was, one, it was a first green day on the long-term chart. Two, it had the COVID news, finally, an OTC stock with this news. Three, it's made that new high a day and it's holding that high. We were actually thinking about trying to get back in to rebuy to make our position even better, since we're already in a position here at 16.2, but this would have been us trying to average down, and we end up averaging down once it does creep back up. So check this out. The reason why we were a little bit more lenient with our cut here is because, again, it was heading into the weekend with this fresh coronavirus news, and every weekend since the coronavirus has been announced, there has been a rise in cases every weekend. So come Monday, there's a new state that has it or a new country that has it, and there's a rise of cases, which, it's unfortunate, but these healthcare companies are all playing off that. And so we really wanted to hold it. We really were giving this some room. And when it started to creep back up, we really started to like it to add, to average down, to make our position even better. And so that's what we end up doing right here. As we saw it crept back, it held that 15.1 nicely with the 15 buyers, a whole bunch of 15 buyers. Right here, where we end up adding another little bit here, and it averaged down our position to 16.1, and we were taking it overnight. And as you could see, it ended up closing at 16.45. So we were up a little bit going over the weekend. You got the fresh news going with you. You had buyers into the close. It held that 15 dip, held VWAP all power hour. So we were ready to go. And then the next day, it was just kind of just gap up. And the thing was, the reason why we sold so quick is because, one, the gap up was really nice at 19. So we tried to take that. It filled us our first half at 18. Breaking down, our plan on the sell side was, we're looking at this, and the gap up is showing 18 on the bid, 19 on the ask. For a little bit, it showed 19 on the bid. So we figured if we can get 18 and 19, that's actually a really nice win from 16 So we went ahead and put a half sell in just to take it. Dow was actually down 5%. It hadn't seen this big of a week, or this week of an open, in a long time. We decided, let's go ahead and secure half. Let's do it. And if sellers come in, we're taking the rest. And look at this. The first minute we got the sell at 18. The next minute more sellers came in. As you can see, the whole first minute was sellers. The whole second minute was sellers. So on that third minute, right when we saw there was big buyers, and you could see the bidders. So pay attention to the level 2 over here. You'll see the bidders and sellers. There was big buyers. Right when it started eating those, we said, all right, let's do it. And we grabbed the bag, and that was our play that ended up being the rest of the play. And
Fantastic.
boom.
So,
That deserves a pizza.
in a hectic day with the market halting
Yeah.
in the morning. Oh, say no more.
Nice. And you want to make sure you always adjust your plan overnight, right? Once you get a feel for these, it's going to help you even more. That's why you got to look at this as a marathon, because the more you play this, the better you're going to get with it, no matter what. It does take experience.
You can always get back in these things later if they really come back.
Yeah, if it doesn't go to plan, don't hang around.